Recording in progress.
Mercury and reggaeton, I tell you. Okay, so I hold a board in holistic nutrition. I was also one of the first people in Northern California to be trained on a program, ironically, out of Australia. So, a mental health first aider. And that is really a community effort of some key community folks that um, are trained to really help those that are really in distress um, in order to try to eliminate the possibility of possibly having to call the police, them possibly being shot. And so that's something I'm really proud of. I also mentored under Dr. Deanna Minich, and she's pretty much a hero of mine in this type of work around the energy centers of the body, connecting the energy, or some would say the woo woo, to the science and merging the two together. And so I am certified under her as a food and spirit practitioner. And what that means is, for me, the 7 primary energy centers, there are many, many more. The 7, I just grew up having a really deep, like, desire to understand and know. And so it's kind of been a lifelong thing. And then I was in a conference, and then this magical person came up in front of me, and it was Dr. Deanna Minich. And I sat in the conference and I bawled because finally somebody, all the things and ideas in my head, there's somebody that did the work, has published it. She's a scientist, which y'all know a lot of y'all know I'm married to a big brainiac of an amazing human being. So I love the woo woo, I love the science, I love it all meshed together. And so I practice and teach a thing called the immersion, and this is just kind of short and sweet on 2 energy centers because of the challenge that we're in right now. Some of you may be participating in the 7-day challenge. Some of you may just be visiting this class because it called to you. You're all equally welcome, but I do want to acknowledge that we do have a 7-day challenge going on. If you're not a part of it, you can join in. We can talk about that after class. But the theme for the challenge, because so many of you are emerging into your springtime, is spring clean, calling in abundance. And the question that's been asked to most of you that have been in the challenge is, what does living a life in abundance mean to you? And I want you to think about that for a moment. What does living a life in abundance mean to you? And the thing that it means is going to be individual to each person. But what I find not funny, it's not shocking at all, is when you usually type up abundance, the first thing that pops up is money, because that's the society and that's the world that we live in. And that's the last thing that I think of. Do I like to have money in flow? Absolutely. Do I want to not worry about bills or, health? Of course. Like, I'd love to just shell out money. But an abundance is so much bigger than the financial things or the things that are fast and fleeting that you can buy. And so take a moment, think about that. What does abundance, living in abundance, mean for you? We're all at very different stages of our life, so it can mean many different things. If you feel called, you can share a couple of keywords in the chat box that may help others think in a bigger picture. For me, abundance is knowing that I can go to sleep at night and my son and my wife are healthy and they know that I love them and that I know that they love me. Abundance is knowing that I can do this work and I'm also receiving as much as I'm giving from each one of you. That's abundance to me. I mean, abundance, I can go on and on and on, but those are some key things for me. And then in this challenge, we're looking at heart and we're looking at sacral or flow. I will use the word flow because also in my training connected to the sacral chakra, we also call it flow. And then there are the Sanskrit names as well. So you'll hear me interchange in and out of those kinds of words. And so sacral, or the flow system, is so important when we are navigating through all these trials and tribulations and journeys. And it's so important for creativity, whether it's creation because it's located in the sexual organ area. It could be creation of human beings or creation of ideas, things that change the world, things that change your path. If you're in crisis, it's how the idea, the creation of that pathway out. And so you'll often hear the word going, or the term going with the flow. And what's funny is when we're not in our flow state, when our sacral is blocked, we can't go with the flow. We feel stuck. And I want to focus on that's possible stuckness for you. And I want you to kind of explore, as we talk about some things, how getting into your flow, being able to go with the flow for wherever you're at currently in your life in this moment. What's it going to take to get you in some balance and to get you unstuck? We're also going to look at heart. Heart's pretty straightforward. I know we've all met that person that has been hurt and they are shut off. You don't need a fence around them to know that there is a wall there. You can feel it. And we also know that person that gives, and God, they are great, but you look at them and go, oh, they're going to wear themselves out. You can't just be in a state of giving. And so we're going to look at the expansion of the heart. How do we give? How do we receive? Let's see, I've got a comment in there. Abundance. Time to enjoy nature and friends to do it with. Absolutely. Nature is medicine. Opportunities to grow. Growth. Yes. Having time to dance. Y'all know I'm a dancer, so that speaks to me. Time to enjoy and give with a loving community. That's beautiful. Thank you for sharing that. Now, for some of you that might not know chakras or energy centers, I want to just share a quick picture. And so you'll see that it says food and spirit below because this is part of Dr. Deanna Minich, and I will give you a link if you want to explore some of this more. And so we're looking right here, if you can see my cursor in the orange, and we're looking right here in the green. Now, being in a nice state of flow requires all of these. This is your root. This is your connection to earth. Here's your sacral. This is your flow. This is creation. Here is your fire system. This is, have you ever heard the term, they've got a fire in their belly when somebody's just getting stuff done? They're making it happen. And there's your like digestion, all those good things right in there. Here's this big, beautiful heart center. Here is your truth. Speak the truth, but also be able to receive the truth. So it's in the throat, but guess what? It's also connected to those ears, because you got to be able to hear the truth. You got to be able to listen, as well as speak a truth, and as well as know when you need to speak and maybe when you just need to hold that tongue. Here we go, right here. This is your third eye, your intuition, your inner wisdom, the inner knowing. And here is your crown, or spirit. And this connects you to all things unseen and divine that are bigger than you, because there is so much out there that's bigger than you. All right. Now, if you have a piece of paper and a notepad, you can take notes. I'm not big on slides. I'm going to do a little bit of talking. If you have like a question, create yourself a parking lot. And that means put it on the side and we can talk about it after. I want to give you some really basic information around these two centers. I also want to give you a couple of poses, yoga poses that are very simple that anybody can do to help you kind of pull into those energy centers. And then I want to give you this opportunity of some sound so you can lie down, go deep within, and just absorb or even ask questions, higher self, those around you, or just rest. because that's okay too. All right, friends, let me get my little notes here. You get to see me put my old lady glasses on. Okay. So what we're going to start with, I'm actually going to start in the sacral and the flow system. So 2 inches below the belly button, this is where your flow system is. And so what's right here? Most of us, a lot of us, maybe some of us have had some things removed, but guess what? The body remembers that they're there, different sexual organs. So in the flow system, you're looking at relationships and partnerships. You're looking at pleasure and play. You're looking at inner child and that innocence, fluidity and chaos, water and release, emotion and expression, artistry and the artist, sensuality and sexuality, 2 different things. The center is the divine inner feminine center, which is within all of us, whether we are binary, fluid, it's in all of us. These energy centers are in with all of us. And it's creation and ideas. So much magic happens there, right? The sacral system is the bodily residence of our raw emotion. It's the hub of creative potential. The flow system is about the energy of relationships in all forms. Our flow system, or sacral chakra, assists us in wielding and manifesting our internal raw creativity into an external forum involving often visual arts, body expression, and guess what? Sound. When our sacral or flow system is functioning optimally, we're able to go with the flow of life and move as our creative expression calls, and we do it without judgment. Our ability to evolve and change our physical form and the environment around us resides in our sacral chakra. Once again, it's the go with the flow. This is perceived as a system of movement. Let me let somebody in. There we go. This is perceived as a system of movement and dance. And it's also a system that's deeply connected to a goddess named Kali, Kalima. And Kali is some of y'all that have practiced with me, you know, I've had you draw Kali. I've had, like, she shows up everywhere around me in my life. And I did not grow up, you know, I'm a, you know, little Latino girl born in the south of Texas. I kept seeing this figure for as long as I could remember, and I didn't know who she was. And as I got older, she kept showing up and showing up and showing up. And then a dear friend who, she is Indian, she said, "You remind me of my favorite goddess." And I was like, "Well, who is that?" And it was Kali. And I was like, "That's the one that I've been seeing like my whole life." And so I have a deep connection to her, and it's funny because she's a baddie, and she can show up for all of us. She destroys everything in her path. Everything. She's relentless. She destroys to make space for creation and life. And I just think that's fascinating. I think she's fascinating. Flow equals physical movement, whether that's for, let's say, menstruation for women, physical movement. You're not in your flow when you're stuck, you're cramped, right? You're clotting, endometriosis. You're in your flow when you're with a partner and you're having really good sex, and that's a flow. Orgasm, that's a flow. the creation of ideas, that thing that sits down deep right there that tells you want to create this new program or you want to learn this new modality. That's the flow. It's speaking to you. So flow, physical movement outward, ideally from a place of internal centeredness. It's unformed, it's fluid, but it has all the materials for creation. It enables us to surrender in chaos and dive into a state of surrender and release control, because that's going with the flow. Right? When you're in chaos, and chaos is going to happen, and you're holding on because you know what should happen or what you want to happen, but baby, you don't have a choice. So what are you going to do? Are you going to hold on and let it keep dragging you down? Or are you going to release, trust, and go with the flow? And when you release and you trust, it gives space for you to find the solutions. And then there's just the fact that we are 60 to 80% water. We are flow. That's us. Or the root system, the first system, it's all about the grounding and the anchoring ourselves in this physical world. The flow represents fluidity, flowing in dynamic emotions. It calls upon us to let energy in motion or emotion to move freely through our bodies, so we don't stagnate, so we don't end up diseased. So if you're feeling stuck, dried up, blocked, this indicates that someone or something has disrupted your flow. You could feel swept up in your emotions. You could feel feelings that are flooded. You maybe even dissolving in grief that you're just holding on to. And this is considered an overflow in the flow system. Moody, over emotional, maybe numb, uncreative, infertile. Those are also signs of an unhealthy, imbalanced flow system. Being in our flow allows us to release when needed. And maybe that's through tears or sweating. You think about hot flashes. Maybe it's the flow as you write in your journal, or the flow of your words as you sit down to have a difficult conversation, even though you're scared of the person's response or the outcome. That goes back to that releasing and giving in and surrendering. You know you have to have the conversation. You're scared, but you're going to do it because you're going to release and surrender and know that it's going to work out the way that it should. Whew. Everyone has their own personal definitions. And these definitions will change over time throughout your life as you grow older and wiser. And you can take a minute to think about what a perfect flow would look like for you in this moment in your life. Someone who may cry excessively can cause more distress on the body. Their flow is too heavy. Their job would be working on self-regulating tools to bring that flow into balance. The same goes for someone who never shows emotion and holds everything in. You're seeking that sweet spot of expansion to let things move through. And remember, regardless of what someone has done to you or your circumstance, the only person that can fix this is you. All right. So we talk about, and I'm going to keep pushing along here because I want to get to the hands-on stuff. A couple of things that around nutrition. So the color is orange, which is easy to remember. It's orange. You're in your flow. Think about a juicy orange, the juice flowing out of it. So think about orange foods. That's one way. Think about hydration, and think about hormone balancing. And that's for she, him, they, them, all of us. So adequate water intake. Carrots, papayas, sweet potatoes, healthy fats and oils, nuts and seeds, and fish. I'm going to pause there for a moment. Does anybody have a question or response or want to share anything before I pop into heart? Going once. Mangoes, love me some mangoes, y'all. I can eat them till they make me sick. Yes, okay, all right. Get my little dance in between. Perfect. We're gonna keep going. Couple of simple yogas for sacral. Hero's pose. On the knees, you can put a block or a pillow between your knees if you're not Megan with the good knees. And then it's just sitting down, tops of the feet, hands down. This is the most simple thing to focus in on that sacral center and really start to activate, start to just become aware, connect to it. Put the hands on the thighs, you can put the hands on the lower belly, and it's really just a simple power pose. Cat-cow, which we will do in a minute, on the all fours, inhaling, bringing the chin up, tailbone up to the ceiling, exhaling, creating that curve, and then adding hip circles, anything that's fluid, and think about dance, salsa. Low lunges, and then one of my favorites, which is the goddess pose, which we're going to do this in a minute, but we'll get into, I'm not in my back room, so I'm making do here. We'll get into the goddess pose in a minute. And once again, even though it's goddess, it is a non-binary move meant for everyone. All right, moving into the love or the heart center. The love system, also known as Anahata, is different from the three lower. So root, sacral, digestion, fire. The three lower chakras are all related to grounding to the earth. And the heart is more of an ethereal energy center. It's more soul than body. And when you move up, then you're going more up into the more spirit, the ethereal, not body. Which I love this. In Sanskrit, Anahata actually means unhurt, unstruck, and unbeaten. Which I want to believe we all come into this world like that. But we often lose parts of that as we experience and grow. And so I think the meaning is just so, it doesn't matter how many times I read it, it puts things into perspective, especially in today's world. So unhurt, unstruck, unbeaten. It's the fourth primary chakra, and it serves as our center of love for oneself and others. Compassion, empathy, and the big one, forgiveness. The heart is associated with unconditional love, compassion, and joy. It's the source of deep and profound truth that cannot be expressed in words. It is a bridge between the lower and upper chakras, integrating and manifesting with the spiritual. The element of the heart is air. Think about love is in the air. It's the most expansive of the first four elements, and air represents freedom, openness, and spaciousness. And working with your breath, or as the Hindus call the breath, prana, it's one of the best ways of restoring balance in your heart chakra. I mean, think about it. When you're in crisis or when you're frustrated and you're not breathing optimally, a lot of people will feel that tightness in their chest, right? And so this element, this organ, everything around this is the expansion, and it's air. And when we're restricting it, whether it's through physical or through disease or through pain, we're protecting ourselves. We've been hurt, we're grieving. We're in an imbalance in that heart center. We often think of someone with a big heart as being endlessly giving, a martyr or self-sacrificing. When in actuality, a healthy heart chakra is well developed to understand loving discernment and detachment. Love is given within healthy and clearly defined boundaries. I always think about a parent who can't say no to their child because they feel guilty about a divorce. That is not a healthy love. That's not giving love healthily. I mean, it's giving love, but there is not a boundary there because there's shame and grief there. A healthy heart system allows the heart to pour pure love for oneself and others out and for the planet. A healthy heart system is patient with the process of life. This is a tough one for a lot of us, for me, for sure. A healthy heart system recognizes the beauty and wonder of life. There's always this awe to just all the natural beauty around. They're grateful for being able to share their love and radiate this energy to others. They feel joy, they feel contentment, and they feel gratitude. Even in situations that are unbalanced or chaotic, people with balanced heart centers won't have a hint of stress on their face because it goes back to like just trusting. So color green, and I know a lot of people think love, it's like they're going to go red, pink. Those colors are fine too, but the actual color of that center is connected to the most beautiful, vibrant green you can imagine. And so it's easy to remember foods that will be supportive of that system in all those organs and pathways are leafy vegetables, microgreens, phytonutrients, sprouts. Plant-based diets are fantastic. And then one of my favorite, and here's where the pink or the red comes in, is rose. So if you're feeling stuck here, you're feeling grief, sadness, it is magical what rose can do for you. Whether you're smelling it, drinking a nice cup of rose tea. So play with that idea if any of you are experiencing heaviness. And for this one, it's really, there's so many different moves. Goddess will still help with your heart center. Cat cows are good for the heart center. Hero pose. But something that I love is just really sitting and digging into your breath. And so that's what we're going to do real quick. It's going to be about 5 minutes. You don't need a mat or anything. But I want you to just go with these moves. It's not going to be like a full class. This is really, I just want you to feel the move and the possibility. And then I want to give you a little bit of sound. When we do sound, I want you just to take, and I know I just threw a bunch of information at you. I want you to take the things that may be brought up, like I saw some head shakes, like things that you felt something or you're curious about, and I just want you to kind of meditate with it, actually, and allow there to be space just for introspect, going in and really going, how does this affect, how does this relate to me? How does these things relate to me right now? What do I want out of these things that are popping up? And now, how do I tie that into abundance for my life right now? Because your life right now is going to be different from your life in 6 months. So we're looking at right now. And if you find yourself going, well, in 15 years, I want to blow, let's stay right here. Let's stay right here, right now. What's going to be good for you right now in the condition of the world and the condition of whatever you're experiencing. Okay? All right, friends. So you can either take a cross-legged position or you can do that hero's pose. Your choice, whatever feels best for you. And I want you to listen to me And I think it'd be great if you could just find a kind of a point in front of you to look at, but look through. And so for me, I'm kind of looking at my Keith Haring picture, and I'm looking through. So I'm kind of looking through that wall as I'm talking to you all. And I want you just to take a natural clearing breath. It can be in the nose, out the nose, mouth, whatever, your choice. Then I want you to activate your elbows and palms into a prayer position. And I want you to take the back side of your thumbs, and I just want you to place it in the center of your heart. You can drop the elbows down. They do not have to be activated out. Drop them down. And as you do that, I want you to make sure your shoulders are rolled down and away from your ears. So maybe you push them up towards your ears, roll them back, and let them fall naturally. And so you're looking through whatever you're looking through. You've got the back of those thumbs rested against the chest. You're probably noticing how your hands rise and fall with your breath. And after each breath, I want you to also notice the softness that comes with the exhale. Now I want you to think about your spine, making it nice and long and tall. And maybe on your next exhale, you're going to tilt your chin slightly down, and you're going to feel a nice lengthening in the neck. And so that's going to change your gaze. And so as your chin is tilted slightly down, it's not fully tucked. Like I'm feeling a nice release at the top of my shoulders and my neck. I'm going to change my gaze. I'm going to find something in front of me to look at or look through. So I'm looking at my rug. It's a picture of a leaf. And soften something in your face. Release and tension. We're going to do a few breaths, emptying fully out, and we're going to fill our belly, our chest, and then up into our throats, those three parts. And then we're going to release the throat, the chest, and the belly. We're going to do this all through the nose. The mouth is going to stay closed, but don't scrunch your mouth closed. Let it be natural. Okay, so we've got this nice long spine activated. We're connected into our heart center. Because we have this nice long spine, our sacral center is open, ready to receive. We're going to take that breath in through the nose and out the nose. We go belly, chest, throat, release, throat, chest, belly. Keep going. Belly, chest, throat, all in the nose and out the nose, throat, chest, belly. I want you to take about 4 more of those on your own. Expand that belly. Release it out. If you feel called to close your eyes, close your eyes. On the last one, open your eyes, bring your gaze back up. You can release your hands. I want you to find your way to all fours. And if your feet are a little asleep, you can give them a little bit of energy by tapping the tops of the feet. There you go. All right, so find a natural tabletop position, and you can tuck the toes or keep the feet flat, your choice, it does not matter. And take your inhale, bringing the nose, chin up, tilting the tailbone up, dropping the belly, getting a nice look up towards the top of your ceiling, and then release. Curve the belly, curve the back, take the chin, look through towards the legs and the pubic bone, and inhale, tilting back up, and exhale, release. Do one or two more at your own pace. Make them as big or as small as you need to. And then find your way back to center. And now I just want you, as you're inhaling and exhaling, I want you to rotate the hips. Go one direction. And change it and go the other direction. Find your way back to center after you get a couple of circles, both directions. And then I want you to bring your right leg forward. Find a little bit of a lunge. This may be your lunge, if this is what's available. Your lunge may be hands down, foot down, or toe. What I want you to focus on is creating a line of, I like to say, energy. From the root, that sacral on up, expanding that heart center forward. And just take a breath or two at whatever level you're at. They're all great. Breath or two, creating that energy forward. I like to give a little couple of neck turns here. I'm always stiff in my neck. When you're ready, drop your knee down, trade legs. This is the super basic, but very effective. Find the position that feels good to you. Maybe it's here, maybe it's here, maybe it's here. Imagine once again that nice line of energy coming up, expanding out the chest, forward to the room. Take a couple of breaths. Feel that energy building, that heat. It's good for you. Now, without dropping, I want you to simply turn that back foot out. Come to your center. Control your lower core and roll the body up. The feet are slightly out, opposite sides of the room. And I want you to come up and find your goddess or God. This is my lovely Kali. So I'm out, my feet are posed. I want you to bring those hands up, almost as if you're carrying the weight of the world. And drop into it as deep as you can and hold for a couple of breaths. If you can get a little deeper, get a little deeper. Give me one more good breath. Press up through the feet. Bring the legs up. Walk the feet in carefully. Let's take one breath in. And I want you to let it out and swing over. Try it again. And shake it out. Find your way back down. So friends, any combination of these things can be helpful just to really bring you back into this space versus this space. I have been in places where I've had to go into a bathroom and I'm not going to sit on the floor, but I have had to like just come into a bathroom and take a moment if I'm having anxiety. I do get anxiety issues. Um, Before talks, I'll go into a bathroom and use the mirror and get into that Kali, that goddess pose, and just breathe that energy in. And as I'm doing that, remind myself of why. Like, I'm going to do this talk because I got to raise money, like whatever it is. You know, you can use these things anywhere to kind of pull you back into your body awareness. And it really is awareness. You know, I was on the call with my 23-year-old, and he was like, he's 23. He's like, why is everything so hard? And I try, and I'm, you know, I'm so disorganized, and da da da. And I'm like, I said, I'm so glad to hear you say this. And he was like, I'm sick of my own shit. And I was like, oh, thank you. Because years ago I told him, I was like, I would fix all the things in the world for you if I could. But it's the point of where you get sick of your own shit that you start to work on the things. And so sorry to use profanity if that offends you, but it really is the basis of it. It's doesn't matter what has been done to you or against you. It does matter, but to fix it, it's not going to be those people or those things. It's going to be you. And the things that the tools that you had in order to survive whatever it was or navigate it, that helped you then. But this version of you now that's been through that has to look at your part of how you're responding, how you're taking care of your body, your thoughts. And these are all tools to help you really just realign and think about, once again, what does abundance look like for you? How can you live the life of abundance that you want? And I hope that you will try some of these tools or the breathing whenever you need assistance. Now, to close out, I would like to offer you just a little bit of sound. So get into a very comfortable position. If that's bed, if that's on the floor, if that's sitting. I'm a big lover of lying down for this. You can turn your camera off. I'm gonna actually turn my camera off because as much as I tell people they don't need to see what I'm doing, people will look. I want you just to hear and listen and absorb and rest and surrender and reflect. Let your body do all these things naturally. I promise. It wants to. If you end up getting monkey mind and the mind starts traveling, it's okay. Take a look at whatever's popping up in your head and go, okay, noted, and give it permission to leave. And I promise you, groceries and all those other things, laundry, it'll all be there after you're done here. Right now is for you. So as I'm putting my bowls up, I want you to start to notice your breath. How's your body feeling as you're lying there? Your mind's probably a little activated. We've just listened to a lot of different things. Hopefully I've created some questioning and thought in your mind. And all those things are fantastic. You can keep them there, but I want you to tell the body that it's time to take a little rest. With each exhale, I want you to notice how the body feels against the floor, the blanket. How your body is perfectly safe right now. Your mind is perfectly safe. And that it's the end of your day. You've done everything you can do for the day. You've done for others. Now you're doing for yourself. because I want to end with you feeling rooted and grounded, so you can move about into your nighttime routine or into bed, and start to close down for the day. Close up shop because you've done everything you can today. And so you can do a couple things. You can lie there and just take it in and breathe into the area, the center that I call out. You can also choose to do some hands-on touch with yourself, where if I'm saying we're going to the crown first, you can choose to take the hands and place them at the crown, on the crown. You could do prayer at the crown, your choice. I will guide you through, and we will stay for a couple of breaths on each system. And I want you to imagine as you're breathing in that you're really kind of swooping into that area with intention, giving it permission, like we're going offline now, we're resting, we're shutting down for the day, and visualizing your kind of, I don't want to say closing it up, but you're sealing it for the day, so you can start tomorrow just really revived and refreshed. Doesn't mean you're not going to receive. You're not closing down to receive or have beautiful ancestors meet you in your dreams. It's just that you're closing it up for protection, so you're getting ready to close down for the day. Okay, and please make sure that you're on silent if that your mic is not on. Okay, here we go. All right, choosing to take your hands or just lie there, your choice. We're going to put our energy up into the crown of the spirit. We're going to breathe deeply as I play the ball and do nice slow exhales. We'll go for probably 2 to 4 breaths. Inhaling. Still kind of lingering around that might not be of service to you. Imagining sealing it up, protecting it. Moving down to the third eye, you can take one hand or both hands, place them on the center of the forehead, breathing deeply into that third eye center. You don't have to have that intuition on right now. You can just be there to receive messages and dreams. You're not having to foresee or solve problems. Getting ready to rest. Now, option to take one hand, lay it over the throat, one hand over one of your ears. This is that truth. We listen and receive the truth, and we speak and give the truth. Breathing in deeply into the center. Oh, she is playing strong today. My wish for you is that answers are provided for anything that you need help with, and that you are able to hear and accept the truths that take you forward. Next, we're going to take one or both hands and place them over our heart center. belly is, digestion, the fire in the belly, the fire system. This is that very masculine energy system. When you've got the ideas, they're there, and now you're putting it into action, into the world. Breathing deeply into that center. That one is usually really activated for us because we're always problem solving or trying to finish something with work or crisis, and so we're really giving it permission just to rest. Be ready for tomorrow, so more execution of ideas and creation can happen. And taking one or both hands 2 inches below the belly button. The sacral flow system. Breathing in deeply and slowly. Maybe through our conversation today, some things have presented itself to you. And so there's an awareness. Maybe asking for that information to stay with you, but also giving that area permission to take a break for the night. Get ready for a beautiful flowing day tomorrow. And exhale in deeply. And for our last one, I invite everyone to take both hands and lay them off of the body onto the floor around them. Imagine that the palms of the hands are creating roots down deep into the earth, and this is grounding you. This is your grounding, safe energy. Take a nice big deep breath in. The body is safe. You're grounded. Things are in perspective. You're feeling balanced. You're in community right now. And keep this grounded energy going through the night. Hopefully, you're feeling relaxed, and I invite you to go ahead and stay in that position, stay on the floor. I will stay on for a couple of moments if anybody wants to chit chat or share anything. And as we start to close up, I just want to remind you that all these tools, all these things are available for you any time of day. You don't need me. You don't need anyone else except for yourself to show up and give yourself that permission for a pause. Take a moment. Do the thing in the bathroom if you're feeling stressed. Go in there and collect yourself. Send the right information into your body that's going to give you the peace and the calm that you deserve. Please make sure to look at the Banyan website, sign up for other classes. There are a lot of in-person things coming up. I will be in the Bay Area for about a month and a half, and I will be performing at a couple of different places. So check the website. One of my favorites is Filoli Gardens. That one is not free. That is their Pride weekend, but this year is going to be very special. There is an area of land on the back of the property that has been rematriated and given back to its original owners, the Ohlone Raiamatush tribe, and I will be blessing the land with a lovely sound session in the Redwood Forest. So stay in touch. If you have any questions, feel free to email me. If there's anything that comes up and you want to kind of examine it more, send me an email. I respond, and I love to be able to be there for support. And until then, I hope that you have a beautiful, abundant night's rest, and that you, if you're doing the challenge, that you stay the course and keep in perspective your why and what abundance looks like for you, what you need. Okay, until then, friends, I hope you have the most beautiful dreams, the most beautiful rest, and I hope you soar among the clouds, and I look forward to talking to you soon. Take care.
Is there going to be another survey?
Oh, yes, as soon as we end, whether I end or you end, it's going to be one that's going to pop up on your screen. So if it pops up,
Okay.
technology is wonky. If it pops up, please answer. It's like 3 questions. Thank you so much, everyone. Take care.